Okay, so we're back. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take these edges. Well, I can just grab this whole edge right here and move it up. So I'm going to bring it up about right to there. Well, maybe I don't want that whole edge. Let's do this again. We'll just grab this one and that vertex rather. I bring that one up maybe slightly. Still not liking that. I'm going to bring this in a little bit. And this whole line could come up just a tad, like so. And what I'm looking for here is, again, for this distance between this vertex and that vertex vertically to be roughly what the distance is between here and there. So, again, this becomes less and less important as things get higher and higher poly. It doesn't matter as much. We can take this vertex and also bring it in a little bit and take this one. These center verts are just so when the character walks, it can be a little bit easier for the rigger to weight the model, and so it won't look as funny when he's walking around, and it'll deform better. So what I'm going to do is just marquee drag across here. I'm going to right click and say connect. You'll notice that things are kind of off there. So I'm just going to go ahead and scale that down like so. So it's roughly even. I could right click and say chamfer. When I chamfer it, I want to just spread out the chamfer a little bit. I'm going for this bump kind of in his knee, right? If you look at his knee right there. So I want to put a separation in there, like an extra line. You can't really see it because the gizmo keeps getting in the way, but when I set this to 2, I get a line in the middle of the chamfer. And what that's going to do is give me something that I can grab these verts and we'll just pull them out to the side a little bit. So I'll grab those and pull them out over here. And with these, I'm just going to try to get a little bit of that bow in there that's there. And you see he's got pretty skinny legs. So I could come in here and grab this and let's do a connect. Let's actually connect it twice. So I'm going to right click on this, left click on the little box, tell it to have 2 subdivisions. And what I want to do with both of those is kind of maybe scale them in a little bit. This direction and this one, I think these could come in a little bit like this. And we'll take this top 2 and we'll just move them forward just a tad. It kind of starts to set up the knee in a way that's good. And let's take this and we'll move it in a little bit. It starts to set up that hamstring a little bit. Maybe take this whole thing and bring it forward just a tad. So something about like that. And this whole leg, probably I'm just going to take all of this. This one. I'm just double clicking now. We'll double click on this one. And I'm just going to scale all of it front to back to give him like skinnier legs. And we'll just take these verts from the knee down and we'll just move them back, the whole thing. Something like that. So I haven't started on this calf yet, but I'm just going for like a skinnier look there. Let's grab all of this. He's a little bit big front to back, so we're going to scale him a little bit. And let's take this stuff and we'll scale it in a little bit too. So I'm going to scale it slightly and then I'm just going to move it. So something like that. And we'll grab these and move them as well. So now I want to start on the arm. And to start on the arm, well, I mean, you can also add some subdivisions here. Like so, before I even get to the arm. So if I grab this one, and I right click, and let's just say I connect both of those with 2. I gotta say ring first, I'm sorry. Let's do this part first. I'm gonna say ring, right click, and I'm just gonna say connect, and I'm gonna have 2 lines there that go all the way around. So what I want to do is just grab these verts here, like that, pull them out, so he's got somewhat of a butt shape. It doesn't need to be that tall, so what I'm going to do is I'll just double click this arrow, this line, take it down, double click this one. So I want the whole horizontal section, whole horizontal edge loop. So something like that. And then I want to go ahead and put in another couple loops here. So I'll grab that and right click and say connect. And then I'll have a couple loops here. So with that one, I can go to my vertices. I'll grab this, I'm going to pull this back in a little bit. And I think that's about all I'm going to do there. This is looking a little tall up here, so I'll bring that down. And also I want to take these shoulders back here. And let's take the center of the back in as it, well, at least right there. In the middle of the back, we'll take that in. And we'll take this in a little bit too. So all this shaping, it's just subtle stuff, but as the model gets further and closer to completion, it seems to make a difference. So let's bring this in, kind of round that out. Okay, so something like that's pretty good. Let's take this little point here, it's kind of sticking out, and this one on the back. Just going to bring that forward a little bit, and maybe even this one forward a little bit. So it starts to round out a little bit. So if you want to see what you got, I'm going to move his foot out because his foot's really close. And just grab it and move it out. And I'm just going to take all of this stuff on his leg, all that geometry, I'm just going to rotate it a little bit like that. Let's get rid of this vert because we don't need it. And then I'll just rotate like that. Like that. And then I'll just grab that and move it. So what that's going to do is spread his legs roughly shoulder width apart. And we could even take his feet and rotate them out a little bit. So if I grab this, I'm just going to rotate those feet just a tad. So something like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of half the model. Like that. Just hit delete. And now that I have half the model, I can go ahead and use this thing. If I click on it and I tell it I want to copy, and I tell it I want to copy on the X, say OK, and actually let's not do a copy, let's do an instance, and say OK. So now whatever I do to this side, that side's going to happen for free. So he's already starting to get a much better shape. I think what I want to do, I've kind of gotten this from the top, and I brought it down probably further than I should. This line right here in the front. So we'll bring this down a little bit. I want to have a shape right here. So this is going to be the arm. So what I'm going to do is right click and say inset. I'm going to inset a little bit. I'm going to take this line here and we'll just delete it. And actually, well, I should have just done this first, but grab all these and do a connect. And I only want one, so I'm going to right click and say connect again. Oops. And I just want one. So I'm say OK. And I don't want that line to be in the middle of this section because this is where we're going to turn this into a big circle. So if I go to polygons and geopoly, I'm going to get a circle. Then I can scale it down. I can rotate that circle so that the lines coming out of the various parts of the body kind of go a little bit straighter into where the circle is. Let's take it back and we maybe scale it vertically just slightly. And let's move it up just a little bit and maybe out just a little bit. So I can worry about the shapes as they go into this later. You know, the way the lines are, like maybe this one let's just rotate it. It's a lot easier. If I rotate like that, yeah, I don't like that as well. Alright, we're going to keep it like this for now. So what I want to do is extrude out. So I'm just going to right click and say extrude. And just drag that out just a tad. And I'm going to rotate. So let's rotate this down just in one direction. I'm going to hit W and let's go down to about here, over to about there. I want this to represent his deltoid right here. So let's bring it back about to there, and I want it to be perpendicular to where the direction of the arm. So about like that, and we're just going to go ahead and right click and hit extrude again, and we'll extrude that down like a bunch more. So if I was to grab this, I'll just pull it down to about right here, and we're going to scale it. So scale it down. So now I want to fix these deltoids, so because they're looking pretty weak. So let's grab the vertices down here. I'm going to hit W, and I'm just going to move this down a little bit and maybe in a little bit. Let's grab these and move them in right here. And let's take this and we'll move it down, over, grab that one, move it down. So if I rotate the model, I can move these a little bit forward. You don't want to get carried away. And let's take that and move it forward. And I want to move this one forward a little bit and move this one back a little bit. So I'm going to split the difference. This one in the back didn't quite get where I needed to go, so I'm going to bring it down and over, and this one I'll bring it down. Okay, so something like that. Let's move this back a little bit, and I'll grab all of this right here and just drag that back. Alright, so we're almost to 13 minutes again. So what I'm going to do is just show you here. I'm just going to click this, right click, say ring. Whoops, there's no ring. Right click over here. I'm going to just click on ring, sorry. Do it again. Click here, click on ring, right click, say connect. So that's going to give us something to kind of shape this with. So if I drag this up, you know, I can start to drag this. So I can start to get the shape of the deltoid that I want. So here I can pull it up a little bit, start getting an armpit shape. And looking in the back, that's looking pretty good. So, alright, let's take this. Okie dokie. So he has arms, feet, and so what I'm going to need to do is eventually put hands and a head on him. So I'll probably have one more video to kind of clean him up a little bit.